Hello everyone, this is Will right here from Pampanga, Philippines. Check out Smoothie64 on YouTube, man. Check out his channel. Best, bro.
And would you advise anybody to visit your homeland?
Please do, man. It's beautiful.
Tell me something good about your homeland, brother.
Man, female, women.
Women,
Food.
right?
Food.
But then the thing is, if you're an old man and you go to the Philippines and you have family members here, tell them what not to do.
Bro, man, always take care of your loved ones.
Because you never know what can happen.
That's a freaking look.
And you're going to need to come back here and get the assistance.
You never know.
Hey. Smoothly here. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. I know I'm having a good day. It is another blessed day. You know, we are alive, so it is a blessed day, man. Like I say, I'm not going to stop saying that until I can't say it anymore. You know, I'm in my zone out here, man. I'm in the place that I love to be. I like to be out in the wide open space out here. Me and my thoughts. You know, this is how I cope with certain things. You know, this is how I'm able to deal with things that I'm actually dealing with in life. You know, I get to come out here in the desert. I get to walk around. I get to mingle with a few people here and there because, you know, it seems like a lot of people who come out here and just sit out here in certain parts of the desert or walk in certain parts of the desert, you know, people are just trying to either get their exercise in or they're just trying to get their thoughts together. And you'll be so surprised. You run into a lot of like-minded people where we do have a lot of conversation with each other. But I want to talk about this subject here today. I always like looking around, man, because if I hear something... Yo, creepy crawling on the ground, you know, I'm going to look around, but I'm safe here, man. I'm safe. Yes, I want to talk about how some of us, you know, we cause problems for ourselves later on in life. Case in point, you know, we've all heard the stories of many men who decide to leave America for whatever reason and go abroad to different countries because they feel, you know, once they get into these countries, they are renewed. Their life feels so much better. They say they feel a lot less stress. If that's true, then, hey man, kudos to them. A lot of those men who go abroad, whether it's in the Caribbean, whether it's in Mexico, whether it's somewhere out in Southeast Asia, unfortunately, a lot of guys who go overseas to some of these countries, they just cut all ties with all their family members at home. I got a call the other day from one of my old boss, and he wanted me to go back out in the field. You know, they're shorthanded. A couple of people left Las Vegas and went on back to the Midwest, and he needed a little bit of help. So I say to myself, I say, you know, before I even say yes, I'm going to talk to my wife and I'm going to think about if it's something that I truly and honestly really want to do. But I thought about it and I say, you know, I miss doing what I used to do, man. I love it. I love talking to my elders. I love talking to those folks because of the conversation that we have. And they have no filter. There is no filter. You know where you stand with someone who are of a certain age. Forgive me if I keep looking around here, man. It's just, it's just lizard and those little, I don't know if you call them desert rabbit, just running around, you know. But yes, I decided to go on back out there. So what he did, he actually started me with two individuals. You know, after I finished my little walking and everything, I went on out yesterday afternoon and I started with these two gentlemen. One of these gentlemen had just came back from overseas and now he's living in a group home. He got sick in the country that he was living in. Not going to call the name of the country, but he got sick in the country that he was living in. Found him a very young wife. Now, you know, there's only few countries in the world where you can really travel abroad and you can be an old man. And as long as you have some money, you can get a young girl. You know, a lot of those other countries that a lot of these other guys are really running to, it is really difficult for an old man to end up with a younger girl because, you know, their standard is just a little bit more. So you guys can put two and two together. Saw the man and we started talking. I was asking him, you know, how did he end up where he is? You know, how did he end up getting sick? Of course, you know, I read the chart and everything. I knew what was there. But he said to me he was living over in that country and the lady that he was actually with was cooking for him. But the type of food that she was cooking for him wasn't good for him. Now, here's a man who had certain ailments before he went on over to that country. He had diabetes, he had high blood pressure, and, you know, a lot of aches and pain all over his body. And the type of food that he was consuming was a lot of salty food, a lot of carbs, which is no good for him, a lot of fried food, very greasy food, which is no good for him. It's going to cause him to, you know, develop more inflammation. His pain is going to get worse. I mean, his diabetes is going to get out of whack, and, you know, his blood pressure is going to go up higher. And of course, these things do happen. But the problem was he didn't have enough money to really take care of himself over in that country where he was. Had enough money to live good, but not enough money to really go into the hospital and get the proper care he needs. Luckily, you know, he had a son who was here that decided to bring him back to America and set him up in the hospital. He got his Medicaid and he was taken care of. Son didn't want him to move in with him because, you know, they had a rocky relationship according to this gentleman. So he moved into a group home. And I want to say this to a lot of you guys, you know, who are contemplating and thinking about moving from America or whatever country you're from and going overseas. If you have good relationship with your family members and your children, you do not want to sever those relationships. You truly don't, because unfortunately we see a lot of guys, so when they get sick and they try to come back here or want to come back here, now they alienate all the family members and none of them want to have anything to do with them. We saw this with this old guy who was living out there with this Filipino girl, and he made it back here to America, now lost both of his legs, now living in a home. You don't want to alienate people. You don't want to be mean to people. You want to make sure that you keep in contact with your family members, or even if you have a few friends, keep in contact with them. Don't think now because you're overseas and all of a sudden now you're living a life where you are getting the attention that you weren't getting here in your home country. So you figure no one else matters, no matter where you came from. So you put your all into being 100% in with that particular lady that you're with or the family. But then when things turn, like this gentleman I'm talking about here, he got sick. The family really didn't want to put up with taking care of him anymore because they felt no more use for him because he was always getting sick and they didn't want that. And of course, who knows? Who knows if this young lady started moving on to something better? But like I say, luckily he had a family member back here who was able to bring him back to America and made sure that he got into the hospital and made sure that he was able to get into the group home where he's at, you know. But I just want to say that to you fellas, man. If you are thinking about going overseas and you want to move overseas, if you have good relationship here with your kids or family members, please don't sever them once you get overseas like we see a lot of guys do. They run away and they leave their kids. They never want to come back. It's not a good thing. Thought I'd share that story there with you guys, man. You know, I like to share these stories here, you know, because, you know, I'm talking to my old heads, you know. A lot of people do this. I know a lot of you guys know a lot of people when they get out of America or whatever country they're leaving from, they tend to cut everybody else off here because they feel that they're living in la la land. They got a nice young woman with them and nothing else really matter other than being with that young woman because they are getting the attention that they never got before. I'm just saying, man, don't sever your ties here in your homeland. It is not a good thing to do because bad things is going to happen to you overseas. And when it does, you're going to need those same people to come back here too, so they can actually make sure that you are taken care of in your old age. We're getting old, man. Don't get mean and ornery. Don't cut people off. It's not a good thing. You all know what it is with me, man. It's always peace and love, man. Peace and love. Stay blessed, everyone. Stay blessed.